Hi guys, today I'm going to give you a little bit of a description on the M134G Minigun Replica that I built over the past year. This gun here took me about 6 months to build. I started it towards the end of January and I finished it about the middle of July. This one is all metal, almost entirely steel with a few aluminum components. But for the most part it is all steel, which makes it very heavy. The reason I built it out of such a heavy material is because I wanted the barrels to be as balanced as possible when they were spinning. Didn't want to use PVC or anything light duty that was going to give me a wobble or any kind of a imbalance while they were spinning. So I've got it mounted here on top of my deuce and a half. It's on the M66 machine gun turret. This turret was primarily used for mounting the M250 caliber machine gun or the M1930 caliber machine gun. To my knowledge, an M134 platform was never used on these turrets. I could be wrong, but in my research I have not found any evidence that these units were ever mounted on top of a deuce and a half. So I had a lot of questions about the hatch. Come inside here, you can see my angle rings. I've got two 28-inch angle rings here that I bought out of McMaster Car. One is on the outside of the hardtop, the other one's on the inside. Some better light in here. They've just kind of been sandwiched together and bolted in place, bolted together. Can't really get enough light to show you the bolts there. And you can see the middle there where the insulation still is and the sheet metal for the hardtop on the inside and the outside. So this is directly above the passenger seat. We've got this diamond plate surface here that we can climb up on and operate the weapon. This here is my hatch. Just got those 3 clamps, just like what you see on the hood. I got 3 of those. Once the hatch is in place, they just clamp onto this edge here and they hold it in place. There is a bit of weather stripping on the inside here. I don't know if you can see that. That's a rubber adhesive weather stripping that goes around the entire circumference of the hatch. I'm standing up inside the M66. You get a better view of the weapon. So this here is based off the Garwood M134G. I've had a lot of people come up to me and say it's a GE or it's a Dillon Arrow, but this is in fact based off the Garwood M134G. I'm not going to go through the differences with you, but that is what this is based off of. This was primarily an aircraft machine gun, door gunners, and they were also mounted on hard points on helicopters. So this down here is the feeder delinker assembly. This opens up. That's where my inert ammunition gets clipped, right in there. I have these 2 tabs down here where I'm hoping to attain a flexible ammo chute at some point. They are very expensive, so I'm kind of holding off on that at the moment. This is the motor. I've had a lot of people ask me if it's a starter. It is not a starter. This is a 24 volt 350 watt electric lawnmower motor. I got it off of eBay. I got it brand new. I think it was $70, so it was a pretty good deal. This is the mounting flange, this aluminum piece right here, and then this steel box was built to accommodate it. Underneath this chain guard here, the shaft for the motor comes out to a 9-tooth sprocket for number 40 roller chain. And there's a roller chain that goes down here to the main drive shaft. The main drive shaft goes almost the full length of the gun with the exception of the spade grip assembly. It is a hardened linear shaft, linear motion shaft. I got it out of McMaster Car. It was pretty much the hardest one that I could get. It is tapped on one end. You can see that bolt right in there, which retains the entire barrel assembly in place. And I don't know if you can see that bearing there, but that's the rear bearing. The forward bearing is just on the other side of the sprocket on the main drive shaft in here. So the main drive shaft comes to about this point and then stops. and then it's hollow out to the end. I don't know if you can see that, it's pretty dark. I've had a lot of people ask me if this is a gas replica. It is not a gas replica. I did leave some provisions for a possible upgrade to a gas fire system at some point. Unfortunately, I have not yet been able to find a system that will get me up to the desired rate of fire. The highest one I've been able to find is 1,200 rounds per minute. But I'm looking at close to 3,000 rounds per minute is what I would need for an accurate sound and flame coming out of this barrel. So around 50 pops a second is what I would need to get an accurate noise and visual out of this. So as of right now, it just spins. It is not a gas replica, but at some point I would like to give that a try. We'll roll it over to the other side here. You see we got these Amphenol connectors. These are accurate. These Amphenol connectors were used on the M134 platform, from General Electric all the way up to the Dillon Aero minigun utilizes these Amphenol electrical connectors. So we've got this one here that goes into the motor. We have this one here that goes into the control box. And then we get another one down here for your power feed. Inside this control box here, we have this master arm switch. You flip that up and this light comes on to tell you that you're hot. And then we have these two trigger switches. Now I believe the actual platform uses a single switch can actually activate it. But the way I ran it is that it's actually wired in series through these switches. So you have to hit both buttons in order for the gun to rotate. Over here on the other side, we have this access door with one of these quick release pins. I'll show you the hinge back here. There's nothing underneath this. This is basically just for show. I had these decals made up for the data tags. This here is my traverse mount where it pivots up and down. You pull this pin out here, pull that out, and it'll actually allow it to move up and down. Right now it's in the locked level position. This is the mount that comes down to my pintle and goes into the turret. Up here on these clamp mounts, I did leave these two holes here in case I want to put some optics on this gun. There wasn't really a whole lot in terms of optics on these platforms. There was red dot sights and lasers, as well as night vision and infrared, I believe. I'm not 100% sure what they were mounting on these for optics, but I have that provision if I decide to put some kind of an optic on here. So I'll go ahead and fire it up for you. So inside this box here, we also have a Bosch 60 amp 24 volt relay. I was running 30 amp relays for a while and I kept burning them up, so I went ahead and switched to the 60 amp. So I'll go ahead and hit the triggers for you. That is just about as close to accurate rotational speed as you can get. I believe the original was 3,000 RPM, and I believe that's right around what I'm getting right now. I know that this motor here was rated to 3,000 RPM. I think this one here says 6,500, but I do know that if this is the original data tag, there was a much bigger gear reduction between the clutch for the actual barrel assembly and the motor itself. This is more of a direct drive unit, so if we're getting 3,000 RPM out of this motor, we can expect to see that, or as close to that as we can get down here on the barrels. So that's pretty much it. Future expansions, like I mentioned, I'm going to try and source a flexible ammo chute for this. It's going to be a little difficult exactly where it's going to be routed to. If it goes down through the hatch here, I'll probably just have some inert ammunition boxes down there on the floor, or possibly if I can get it a long enough length, we'll run it off the back of the turret here and into my cargo area. Other than that, this gun's pretty much finished. If you'd like some more information on the build, there is a build thread on steelsoldiers.com. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, go right ahead and comment. Thanks for watching.